Hi everybody, welcome to Grab a Cuppa Crafting. So I did a quick hello video yesterday of how I wanted to kind of change the name because I have so many different crafts going. I'm still going to have the Grab a Cuppa Knit and Chat, but when I do that, it's not going to be every video, and I'm actually going to sit and knit and chat with you. Today, though, is going to be my first, let's see what I'm up to type video. I'm in a different spot. I did mention yesterday about having my craft space needs to be cleaned up so that I can move another table in there so that I can spin. So right now I'm at my spinning table in my bedroom and my messy desk and the whole 9 yards. But I do a little bit of crafting in here. I have a TV in here where I turn on things and just listen. Earlier today I was knitting, and I actually got to the point on the socks that I showed to where I have both of the socks done down to the toes, and I have it marked for the heels. I think they've matched up very well. So the cuffs are a scrap yarn that I had of a tonal purple that matches really good with this purple, I think, that's in the yarn itself. And I'm going to do the heel in this tonal purple, but the rest of it is in Heritage Prints by Cascade Yarns. And the color number is 135. And I think it turned out really well. So I'm doing an afterthought heel. I guess some people call these forethought heels because I marked where I wanted the heel to go, which lined up perfectly with halfway between this wide purple in the middle of the color repeat. So I've been doing that all morning. By the way, this is Sunday, February the 25th, 2024, if I didn't say, which I don't think I did. And my shoulder and my elbow is getting a little bit, I don't know, just tired, achy. So I wanted to stop knitting for a while. In between doing that, I have a tin from Harney and Sons tea that I've gotten. It was a citrus tea, and I took fabric scraps, and I took this tacky glue here, and I mixed some of this white tacky glue with some water and a brush, and I just painted it onto the tin, and then I laid the fabric over, and then I covered it with some more of that watered down glue. I did the top as well, folding the fabric over and gluing it down. It's not completely dry yet. I got glue on the inside of the top. But the fabric in a couple of the corners is too thick, especially this one. So when it is dry, I'm going to go in with an X-Acto knife or a box knife, and I'm going to cut the corners out because it'll go on, but it won't go all the way on. And this is the thick corner. So I think by doing that, that would be better. And then I have... my intent is I have this magnetic needle holder, stitch marker holder top. Now that one does not want to stick. But anyway, the bottom of it's kind of magnetic as well. So it'll just sit right on top of this box. And then I can put all of these little stitch markers down in there, along with some extra tapestry needles, and so on and so forth. That's my intent. I have another little metal box I haven't brought it up from downstairs yet, but I didn't do anything to the bottom. That's Twining's English breakfast tea box. And I think I'm going to do it. This is kind of rough and hard. And I don't know if I want to paint that one or if I want to cover it with my scraps again, because these are all little scraps that I'm not going to use in anything else. And I thought it would just be kind of cute. But the smaller one, I'm trying to decide if I want to paint it with acrylic paint or if I want to cover it with scraps and try Mod Podge and see if that makes a little bit of a softer finish to the outside. I want to try to catch that stitch marker that fell a minute ago, but I don't see it. I'll definitely find it later. To see if it gives it a little bit of a softer outside, because I'm not sure if it will or not. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not like I'm like holding it all the time. It's just something to sit next to my crafting to hold things, because I want to reuse the tins so that I'm recycling the tins, and they're perfect for that. Maybe for buttons or anything like that. But the little one, I want to cover the top with fabric, but put some, make a pincushion top for it. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this part where it actually sits down on there. And I think I cut away the corners on this one, but I didn't cut it away enough. And I think that's going to help so that I have a pincushion on top of that one. Now, that's a whole winded conversation. Grab a cup of something, whether it be tea, soda, whatever you want to drink. No judgments, no special time of day. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I have a London Fog, which for those that don't know, I use coconut milk. And half my cup is filled with coconut milk that I then warm. I throw in a Earl Grey tea bag and let it steep in the milk. And then I sweeten it and add some water. So it's half warm milk and half tea. I love it. It's good in the afternoon, or, you know, like it is the afternoon now, but it's good whenever you want it. It's not exactly a latte, so it doesn't have as much caffeine as a coffee, but it's still tea. Anyway, what I'm doing right now, I thought I would show you, and that's why this whole setup is. So it's not perfect. Is I saw on Pinterest a yarn ball wreath with knitting needles. So from the dollar store, Dollar Tree, whatever you have in your area, I got this wire wreath form. I thought it would be perfect. You could do this with styrofoam. It doesn't really matter. I have all kinds of scraps of yarn. I have some in balls and some not. I'm not sure if I want to ball these up or if I want to leave these like this. I think it would be cute to have it like this. But the intent is to tie them to this form in a way that's attractive or whatever, and stick a couple of knitting needles in it and have a wreath for my room. I'm trying to find ways of using scraps. As most of you know, I'm trying that watch. I have scrappy blankets and all kinds of things. What I'm doing right now is I'm taking the end of the yarn ball with a tapestry needle, and I'm just kind of running it through it a couple of times. And then I'm going to put it on the form and going, where do I want to put it? Going around the form I'm going to wrap it through the yarn ball a couple more times. I've seen these on Pinterest. I haven't watched a video on how to do it. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. That's what it's going to look like tied on there. I'm going to do this again. I have a lot of yarn that I'm not going to use in any kind of project. And I don't know what to do with it. And I'm going to try to like yarn sell some of it out. A couple of dollars of skein, stuff like that. To see, you know, just if I can make some money back on something that I'm just not going to use. Now what I've done here is I've tied it a couple of times in a knot. And now I think I'm going to do that again. This is in real time crafting here. I think what I'm going to do now is I've warmed my hot glue gun. And now that I have it tied off, I'm going to put a drip of glue on there, of hot glue. This is the back. It's not very pretty. And like I said, I'm going along as I'm thinking of it. My glue gun is a very small one and it doesn't want to, you know how they're supposed to stand up on their own. So I just did a dribble of hot glue on the back. And now I'll just go all the way around and do that. But what I was thinking about these little ones is just kind of throwing them in there like so, here and there. Just something different. Because I have a couple of them. And not really balling them up. But I only have several balls done. So I'm thinking, I don't know how many this is going to take or how long this is going to take. But I figure we can. Sorry, I'm trying not to wrap my hand with this yarn. Maybe chat a little bit. Things that I want to do on videos is I'm quilting some. Not a lot. I mean, I've quilted before and I've never made anything that's like pretty. I've done a couple of little baby quilts here and there type thing. Nothing elaborate, nothing huge, nothing great. I have one that I'm doing now that I'm just kind of hand stitching. It's a piece of fabric. The top is a piece of fabric that is made to look like patched quilting, like scrap patches. And all I'm doing with that is I have a quilt sandwich made with that, the batting, and a backing piece of fabric. And I'm actually going around the patchwork that's on that piece of fabric where it looks like it has stitches on it. And that's my quilting process on that one. So I'm actually just like hand stitching it around the patches that's on the fabric. And I think that'll be what I do next video, is show you that, because it's actually kind of cool. the way that it's happening. And it's not perfect, of course, but I like the way it's looking so far. I've basically just started doing that, so it doesn't have a whole lot on it. And it's not really a very big piece of fabric, but it'll make like a good like baby size quilt or throw size quilt, I think. So we'll see. I don't know what all to talk about while I'm doing this. I've been reading or listening to books by Anne Cleve, which inspired the TV show Shetland, which I watch on BritBox. I love BritBox, by the way. I've been watching, I finished the series up to the point that it's at on BritBox, and I'm listening to those books. I'm on book 3, which is called Red Bones, which actually is the book that inspired the first episode of the series. And I really like it. There are differences, of course, between the books and the series, but I actually find it pretty good. I saw the listing for the series on BritBox, and went on my library site and got on the waiting list for the audiobooks, because some of you may know I commute like 45 minutes. That's what I have so far. One way for work. So I've got almost an hour to and from work to listen to a book. Also, when I'm at work during the week, I take walks on my lunch break and my breaks during the day, which makes it nice to, to listen to books during that time as well. So I put in my earbuds and I go for my walks. You know, I sit with coworkers at lunch and eat lunch, and then I go out for a walk to get some fresh air. As long as it's not raining. I don't mind going when it's raining, but I don't like walking during the rain and having to hold an umbrella, because, you know, you're working in an office and you don't want to really get soaked, and it's just not comfortable to have to stay in the office after getting soaking wet. And I don't know. I don't like doing it then. Another thing that I like to do on my breaks is when I am walking and listening to my audiobook, I like to take some simple knitting along. And I have my project bags that I've shown them before. They're crossbody bags, and they hold everything. And I like to take like socks or what have you in that, and just knit on a pair of socks while I'm walking. The only thing I'm doing with the hot glue is after I knot these yarn balls on the back of the wreath, I'm just covering the knot with hot glue to kind of keep the knot in place. I'm not doing anything spectacular with them. Just running that I guess I should just put the camera downward so you can actually see what I'm doing while I'm doing it. That would be better, wouldn't it? Instead of me working on something and you looking at my face and not being able to see what I'm doing. So let me thread this, and then I can put my glasses on, because then the reflection won't be on the glasses. So give me just a second. And we will see this around so you can see my workspace. There we go. If I can do this. There we are. Maybe. It's a little bit difficult to get around the wire some, but you can kind of scoot them around and get them close to where you want. But I am trying to keep it pretty much where I want it set. I don't want to move them around too much. And I'm just going through the yarn ball and up and around the wire, which a couple of them I did through a couple of the wires, but not all of them. And then, I mean, it's such an easy craft, I think. Now I'm just going to go back through and not pull it all the way so that I can knot it a couple times. I figured it would be a cute little decoration since I like to knit and crochet. So yeah, other than listening to my audiobooks, I have my miter square or cozy memories. They're basically almost the same type of pattern. I think I use cozy memories from a homespun house pattern. But I do mine in a fingering weight to use sock yarn. And I have my beekeeper's quilt. So there's that one. And then let's flip it around. And there it is that way. And now I don't know if I want to just kind of fill in with this or how that's going to be. It's not going to be a perfectly, I mean, I guess I can go on top and kind of do it that way and do kind of layers, but I'm not sure. Anyway, the Cozy Memories blanket from a homespun house and the beekeeper's quilt. And those are found on Ravelry. I don't have enough yarn balls already made. Oh, I do have some. Let's see. I have smaller ones. I have pom-poms made. I thought this would be cute, like mixing in pom-poms with it. I don't know if that would be cute or not. Yeah, I have a granny stripe fingering weight blanket that I'm doing. Let's see. Let's put this one up here. So I use my scraps in all kinds of things. And this right here is mostly like heavier weight scraps that I don't really have projects for. Um, so I figured what a better way to use some scraps and decorate my space than to make this little wreath. And now my ball's coming apart. So what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll put this back through there. I don't really care what the back looks like, but I just don't want it to fall apart, and I'll just use them both to tie it down. Snip that off. And then hot glue it. Just to secure that. I think I'm putting too much hot glue on, but I just want to secure that knot down. And in case you're wondering, I'm using a old yogurt cup and just setting my hot glue gun down in that to keep it off my little table. But it really, no matter how I set it, does not want to stay. So I'm always fighting it. But as long as the tip is in there, that's all that matters. So that's what I'm doing. I think what I'm going to do is show you the front. Is come back to you when, see, a couple of them need to be tacked down in different places. And I have some thread. If I need to come back and, like this one is rolling, tack it down on this side some to keep it in place, then I will. But I'm going to finish up the rest of the wreath, and I'll come back to you when I have that finished. Okay, I'm back. Although I'm going to move the camera around and show you what I've gotten so far and see what you think about it. So let's see if we can't finagle the camera back. It's just a little while later. I would say probably an hour it took me. I had a lot of these already wound up, so that was very helpful. But this is what I got. So there we go. A lot of these yarn balls were already wound, like I said. Some of them I left long. I left a little wrapped skein of cotton. Just kind of willy-nilly on how they are. And now I can hang this up in my crafting room. I got rid of some scraps. I really think I need to redo the needles. These are just some needles that I got out of a, what was it? It's a knitting magazine that I would get from Barnes and Noble. It would come with, it's from the UK. It actually had these wood knitting needles in it, and a little like magazine that had different patterns in it and stuff like that. They're like $17, $18, and they would have different little things in them. They have a crochet one and a knitting one. Let's see, I think that looks a little bit better. But there's my crafting for this afternoon. I think now I'm going to most likely clean up my little mess here and work on putting the heel in my sock. or my pair of socks and see how far I can get with that. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Take a look on Pinterest, see what you can find. There's a lot of them. There's some where they use styrofoam balls and just wrap a little bit of yarn around the styrofoam ball and make the wreath that way. Let me show you the back. I really liked the sewing them on the wireframe and then going over the knot with some hot glue to kind of help keep that knot secure. And there we go. Until next time, enjoy whatever you do, but grab a cuppa and craft, relax, whatever, and we'll see what we get up to next time. Bye.